Okay, nice. So good morning, everyone, once again. I hope we are all doing well. So today we'll be looking at mini project 2. Okay, nice. And I already shared the data, everything we need on Discord. So I'll just be reviewing it with us and then be explaining what we need to do. Okay. So by the way, today's project will, like I shared with us during the week, it's going to be for about how many hours is that? So we will not be having the usual 2 hours. So you have until midnight today, Saturday, to submit this project. So you can probably do something else and come back to it. So no pressure. Okay. So let's take a look at what we're doing. On the Discord, I already sent the files. So you have 3 files. So 2 PDFs, I believe. One is named business requirement, and the other is named data dictionary. And then you have the data set itself, which is looking like this. I believe that's what you have also. So I will just walk us through what all of these things mean and what we need to do. So usually there is a document that comes with your data set that helps you understand what your data really is like. Okay, so for instance, you don't expect in the case you don't have the understanding of what the data says and all of that. Maybe you're moving from a different domain, you are in finance, and somehow you have to work on HR data, for instance, right? So there are some things that are probably in that data that you're not aware of, right? So there's a need for you to familiarize yourself with these things. So there's a document that helps with that, and that document is known as a data dictionary. Okay, so I created one. It's not really like, it's just improvising, right? So it's our standard and all of that. But just take note that there is a document known as data dictionary, and just as we know that dictionary, what dictionary does normally, so the same thing. So data dictionary helps us to, like, define all the terms that you have in your data, like the colons and all of that. So we have one in our file. So this is the one I created for it. So if you look at your data, you will find several colons there, right? So this data dictionary gives us or explains what each of these column mean. All right, so you need to read it. I'm not going to be explaining all these things to you. You need to go through it, understand it, because this is how it is in a typical business environment. So you understand what each of these terms mean, and then you make sure that you familiarize yourself with it. So after doing that, you can take a walkthrough on the data, just to understand what do I have. Is every information or every column that has been mentioned here, please let's stay muted. Every information that has been mentioned here, are they here? So you do that validation. This is how you start building your this is how you start working, right? So you cross-check. You don't just bump on your data and begin to work. No, you ensure that everything that you have been supplied with correlates with what you're expected to have, right? So after checking that and all this done, the next thing is to look at the requirement. So also I created some requirements, but this time I actually called it recommended analysis, because I believe maybe some of us might have other things that you want to look at, something, while you work on the data, you might really want to explore more and all of that. But basic level, these are the things I expect you to bring out from that data. Okay, so let's take a quick look at the data first. So if we look at this data, it's like sales, similar to, I think, what we did before during the week. So you don't really have a lot of problem kickstarting with this one. So it's like a supermarket, so different sales, right? So people make different orders and all of that. So this is invoice ID 1. So this is like this identifies each of the order, basically, right? So at any point, I don't expect this ID to be the same. So it means that every ID here is unique on its own. That's what it means. So because you cannot use the same receipt, right, for different orders. You get the idea, right? So it doesn't make sense. So it has to uniquely identify each order. So, and for this order, we have the unit price. So the product that was actually sold, I think I made a mistake with this one. So this is actually not how the data look like. I was the one who split it. And the reason I split it is because I want you to apply some of the things that you learned previously. So this unit price is for the product. Okay, so this is like the product that is being sold. Then this is the quantity of product that this person got. And this is the tax, 5% tax on that particular product or that particular person, I think. So you need to just read here. You will read here to find out what that tax is. Is it on the product or on the person? So if you check tax now, it said tax for customer buying. So I guess it's like for the product, I guess. So, and then with the tax, this is the total. Then this is the date that the order was made. This is the time that the order was made. This is the payment method. Okay, so maybe cash, credit card, or e-wallet. You can check if you have other options. Then this is COGS. What does COGS mean? I don't know, but you need to, where you can find that, right? In your data dictionary. So it says it's cost of goods sold. Okay, so that means that's the cost of the goods sold. So gross margin percentage. Maybe some of us don't know. I don't. So you can check Google what is the formula for gross margin percentage, So gross income. How is this gross income calculated? I would help you because I know that not everyone probably even I don't have it, but I don't want you to really stress. I'm going to explain. But in a real world setting, you need to learn how to find out what these things mean, And then this is like the rating. Okay. So everything, like I said, was on one place, but I splitted them. So if you go to these customer details, you have invoice ID. So the invoice ID from that other end. So if you find this invoice ID 175, so let me set for it 17554. If you come here now and search Ctrl F and you find it, so this is that invoice ID. So that particular, this one now, this guy, the person that made that order is actually a male and is a member. That's the customer type, this order. Do you get the idea now? So it's like matching them together. Basically, that's what you're going to do. And you should know how to do that by now because I taught you even in the last class. How can you bring a data from that end and bring it here based on the invoice ID? You know what to do, right? I believe you. If you don't know, raise up your hand so that we'll know those people that have not been following our class. So that's exactly what it is. The same thing here. So if in the example I gave you in class, you remember I made everything the same thing. How many of us remember when we were looking at purchases and they were the same, right? So, and I told you that, well, it will work. If you try to copy and paste now, it will not work because the guy that is number one here is 75067. The guy that is number one here is not 750. The guy that is number one here is not 750. The guy that is number one here is a different one. So if you try to do just copy and paste and go and add it there, you get it totally wrong. So you know what you need to do in order that you may bring all these details in one place. So this is the product details. So this is the product that was purchased in that particular order. And then this is the branch. So I don't know how many branches that are there. You can check, it's in your data dictionary, and also you can find out here when you add your filter and then you try to check how many options do you have. So the branch and then the city. So I expect that the first thing you're going to do now is to bring all of this data into one place, right? So everything will be in the same line, all the product, the customer type, gender, the product details, and also the city. Everything will be as one wide table. That's the first thing I expect you to do before you begin to work. Okay, so don't forget. So after that, then you can now start working on your requirement. So the first thing here is, what is the total income of the store for the provided records? So total income. So what I said I was going to explain. So sometimes, in fact, most times, when you have a data, You don't necessarily need everything that is in the data. I want you to know that. Okay, so it's not like if you have a lot of columns, you must use those columns. So some columns are not even usable. Some are, you might not need them for the analysis. Okay, so I'm just saying that to save you stress, because you would not really need this guy for this particular analysis. I'm just helping you. It's not really like I should be telling you this. You won't need this guy. You won't need this guy. These are the only two guys you will need. Are you getting me? You won't need this guy also. You won't need this guy. You won't need this guy. You won't need this guy for this analysis. Do you get the point? So this is the only guy you will need, because I'm interested in the income, and this is the gross income. So because this is like cost of goods sold. So when you say cost of goods sold, it means that if this is the amount that you receive for those products, right? And then with tax, this is the amount. So if you check from here, the unit price is 74.69 and the quantity is 7. So it means one of these products is selling for 74.69, and this customer actually bought 7 of them. If you multiply these two numbers together, you will get this. Okay. Now, if you had 5% tax, which is 5% of this now, you will get this. Now, when you add this and this together, you will get this. Okay. So I'm just telling you the calculation behind this. Now, gross margin percentage is total revenue minus, what's the formula again? Total revenue minus cost of goods sold divided by total revenue. So if you do this minus this divided by this, you will get this gross margin percentage. Okay, so you don't really need those things. These are the things I want you to focus on for this analysis. I'm just trying to streamline it so you don't really have different things. So this and this are what you will need, as well as yeah, those two. I mean, for the numbers now, for the numerical columns now. So this and this, and then of course you will need this. Of course, then other things that you didn't fit, then all these guys here, you would also need them because they were mentioned in your analysis. So let's take a look. So what is the total income? So the total income now is, we are using this column. Do you understand now? I hope you understand. You understand it. Well, yeah, that's a good suggestion that I should, but I will have to answer a lot of questions. Like, I know. It's not, we are not all on the same level. So this is more from the business side. It's not really based on the two. Okay, Mr. Shim, I understand you, but this is not, it's more on the business side, not on the two. So it's not really a two related question. So some didn't even have any analytical background. So that's why I'm doing this. So I understand you. No worries. When we go further, I would be doing less explanation because I expect to, by the time we go to Power BI, for instance, I will not do all this kind of explanation again. So it's the first time, okay? So no worries. So that's how we are going to get the total income. So you can see I stated that it's a KPI. You already know what a KPI is, right? I told you what KPI means, and I mean, we did it in the last class. So how many orders were received so how many orders did you receive in total? So I don't know how you're going to do that. Maybe some, maybe count if, maybe whatever. You find out yourself. So what is the overall rating of the store? So that's why I said you need this rating as well. Okay, so how do I know the overall rating? So let me ask you now, if let's say I come to your store and I rate your store out of 10, or let me use 5. This is not 5, this is 10, but let me use 5. So I rate your store 4.5, and another person rates your store 4.7, another person rates your store 4.8, another person rates your 4.6. So how will you know the total rating? You got it out yourself. I'm not going to tell you. So add them up if you want, divide them if you want, anything you want to do. I'm not asking you on the chat. Okay, so the next one is how many orders do we have? How many orders do we have each day? So now, each day, how many orders do we have? So I wanted to add something to that day, but I want you guys to think, but let me just say, so day of the week, that's what I mean. So day of the week. So it means Monday, Tuesday. How many orders do you have on Monday, on Tuesday? Now you'll be looking at my data. I've not seen anything like Monday, Tuesday, right? Do we have? No. So find out yourself. Okay, discover yourself. By now you should know that you need to be able to know how to extract some things from what you have in your data. We did that a number of times. So based on what you have here, find out how you can know what day that this order was made. Okay, so you know what to do. I believe so. So after that, are there any peak hours? So peak hours mean that what hour of the day? What hour of the day did we receive a lot of orders? Okay, so I'm interested in like what hour of the day here. Again, when you check your data, I don't think there's anything like there, right? But how can you get Find out yourself, discover. So then I want you to do something also. You should break this down. Again, still using the hour now. So you should break this down like this. So I'm helping you here because the data actually went from, I think, 10 a.m. actually to 9 p.m. So that's like the time they open the store and then they close by 9 p.m. So I want you to do something. So every order that is between 9 a.m. and 12 noon will be called morning. And every order that is between 12, someone is already doing like this. This guy will not understand. Don't worry, not we are together. So we'll be doing it together. So you'll be doing that, I'll be doing mine. So afternoon is 12 noon to 4 p.m. And then evening is 4 p.m. to 9 p.m. You're going to find out how, do it yourself. I mean, think now, sit down and think, how can I find morning? Morning is 9 a.m. But how can I even find that? There's no 9 a.m. in this data. So what will I do? Think. You will get it. So once you are done with this guy now, I want you to now break down the gross income by month, similar to what we did in the last class. So gross income by month. Again, there is no month here in our table, right? There's no month. So how do you get month from the data you have? Over to you. So you break it down by months. I want to see how many orders we have for January, for February, and so on. So, but just so you know, if you check your data dictionary, we only have 3 months in this data. Actually, why did I even tell you? So maybe some of you would have said, my data is wrong. I only saw from January to March. Okay, it's okay. So let me just tell you now. So the data is going from January to March. Okay, so you will not be seeing December. If you are not seeing December, don't be worried. So it's only from January to March. But I want to know how many orders we had in January, in February, in March. So that's what this one means. Grade of the not how many orders now, the income that we got. Why did I even call it gross income? So the income we got by month and then by customer type. So now you know that we have different type of customers. So we have normal, we have member. I don't know if there are other options, but I know that we have these two. Okay. And then city boys. City. Yeah, you know city, right? Sorry to. Okay, so city. So these are like the cities we have. So what is the total like income from each of these cities? So you find them out. And also by branch of store. Okay, so we also have different branches. Like I said, A, B, C. I don't know if they're D, but you would find out yourself. So once you are done, make it interactive. So build a dashboard from this, just the normal thing. Build a dashboard and make it interactive. And for the interaction, I only want gender, customer type, city, and branch. So these are the only 4 things that I want you to base the interaction on. You know what I mean by that, right? What makes it interactive? Those things, right? I will not mention them. So those are the only 4 things that I want you to use. So it means that if I'm interested in seeing how much we have made from the male gender, I can click on it. How much we have made, that thing, know that thing, right? So that's your project. Then if you now have additional analysis that you looked at this data and feel like, oh, I feel like this should be added, you can include it. But make sure that these ones are there first. Then if you want to add more, you can add more. Maybe for instance, let me recommend maybe how many orders they break. Here I only said you should do breakdown of the income. So you can also do breakdown of the number of orders that we receive. You understand? So you can do that if you want. If you're not tired by the time you finish this one, but you should do this one in like 1.5 hours. It shouldn't take a lot of time. So yeah. So that's all. I hope you understand. So let me take some questions and then we can get started with our task. Okay, let me read the questions from chat. Hold on a second. I think there are some questions here or comment. Okay, you want to buy street. Okay, no worries. City boys. We are together. Okay, what are you saying? What you are saying is that we should create more columns, right? I don't know. Honestly, me, I'm confused right now. Okay, so Mr. Lasuko, let's take you. Madam Chair, I hope I answered your question well.
Okay, yeah, my question is according to the visa you give us now, this supermarket.
The visa.
Now, if you want to, can you hear me?
According to the visa I gave you.
No, I said according to the data you give us for the supermarket. That means we are going to create. That means we are going to create a fresh page to interpret all this data, right?
A fresh page.
Yeah.
What do you mean a fresh page, sir?
I mean a fresh link to interpret all this data so for us to be able to answer all the questions.
A fresh link.
No. I mean a fresh sheet. I mean to interpret all these questions.
Well, I've told you about best practices, right? So if you feel like creating a new sheet will help you, then go ahead. I told you about best practices already. If you really want things to, because if you start, let me tell you what I mean. If you start working on this now, and maybe somehow there's a mistake here, it's really hard to so okay, let me just help you again. The best thing to do here is to create an entirely new sheet, right? Copy all this data here now, move it to that new sheet, and then begin to know how you are going to be adding.
Yeah, interpret. Yeah, I get. Thank you.
Yeah. Don't use any of this sheet. If I were you, I wouldn't use any of this sheet. I would create an entirely new sheet. Copy this one first, and then begin to find this invoice ID with the one you have in your new sheet, and then try to bring all of them together. Okay.
All right.
Any other question? What time are we submitting and what format? Okay, thank you for asking. So you should submit before midnight. So 11:59, midnight. So this is what will happen. I cannot mention some things because I mentioned the last time and the video was taken off on YouTube. So I will put the Discord where you're going to submit. However, this submission is going to be public as well. So many of you have been doing so well I think I've had about, if I'm not mistaken, maybe 10 people who have actually shared their work, both on Discord and on their social media. Some have only just shared on Discord. But this assignment, you would submit somewhere. I'm going to, I hope this one that I even mentioned now, I hope it's not even listening. But you will submit, I will send something to make you submit where you can. I don't know how you should understand what I mean, right? So because of YouTube, I'm trying to know the words to use. So you're going to submit, and then you will share on social media. Okay. So I don't know anyone you are going to share, whether it's your Twitter or your LinkedIn. Who was that person? There was this person that did the breakdown. The second person who submitted, I don't know his name. So I love what he did because he did not just post, he explained what was going on. So this is what the data is all about. Who knows that person? Let me quickly check our social media post. I think that was the second person that posted. I think that was Mr. Is it Alex now? Yeah, it was Alex. So it was Alex. So if you check Alex's post, you guys, I recommend go to social media post on Discord and check Alex's post. Yeah, Alex took from, James took from Alex. So that's why I mentioned Alex. So if you check Alex's post, you will see, he did not just post his work, explain, because you need to, storytelling is part of your job as an analyst. What are you doing? You're not just sharing something and we are seeing it. What's going on here? So you need to tell us, okay, this is the requirement, this is what it's all about. I was asked to do this. And then, so please check his post. So see, when you are posting your work, make sure you come up with something like that to add alongside your post. Okay, it's not that you are just like sharing the image. Okay, so you will submit. I'll send you this thing where you're going to submit, and then you would also share. So both of them will be this thing. So you need to post first. So when you post, before you submit in that link, because in the link you have, it will tell you where is the link to your post. So that's the only way we can confirm that it is you and you're not copying someone else's this thing. So you add the link to your post in the submit. So you need to post first. Once you are done posting, then you should now send it to the form, and then we'll receive it. And of course, how I will get it. You just need to tag me. Check other posts. You see how they've been doing it, and that's how they catch my attention on it. So once you just mention on LinkedIn or Twitter, then you can be rest assured that I will see it. I hope that is clear. You know, the benefit of the camp, like we said, it's not just for you to learn the tools, but also you are building up on your portfolio. This is what the age demands, right? The age that we are. I understand maybe some of us are shy and all of these things. I didn't like to post, but honestly, it comes to the benefit, and I was to also be a part of that. So gradually you will start seeing your feeds, even LinkedIn and these guys, they will start bringing recommendations, because now they know that I think this guy is interested. The algorithm is smart, right? So this guy is interested in a topic like this. So you start seeing your feed now with data related stuffs. And I think when you start seeing them, you start seeing good people that you can follow, and then you are getting more motivated rather than demotivated. So you don't just isolate yourself. It's never going to help you. So I hope you do all these things that we are saying. All right. So that's all. If there's no other question, I think we can start. Let me read this. Will you teach us how to go about GitHub account? Well, for an analyst, I'm not really. I don't think an analyst. I mean, I might be wrong, but generally, for Discord analysts, well, what will you have there? Maybe your SQL queries and all of that. But I mean, there are other things that I could show you how you can have because it's more of visualization, right? So not really like code, So, but I think some create GitHub account, not GitHub account now, they create website with GitHub. Probably I'm going to find out how we can do that. So maybe we can do that together, or I'm going to send you resource for that. But don't worry about it. We will always figure out. Use your social media for now. That's still very much recommended for you to do. Okay. You barely find recruiter on GitHub, so you still have to be the one to, have your GitHub on your resume and all of that. So we are talking of trying to reach out to people and really expose or reveal yourself to people. That's the point here. So yeah. Okay. Any other question? No question. So I hope our assignment is clear. I wouldn't take a lot of questions. So I was talking about moving this data and nobody's asking. I believe all of you know it, right? We are clear with it, right? Turkey.
Yes, now VLOOKUP or index.
I do not ask you. I do not. It's like I have to actually.
You asked us to talk now.
Okay, no, it's like I'm not supposed to. Okay, I should have minded my business. Okay, I should have minded my business. All right. Thank you so much, guys. Then you get the link where you submit on Discord, and then we'll see Monday for SQL. For those of us that have not installed SQL, please ensure to install. Those of us that are having issues, troubles, please reach out on your class group, and then hopefully we can resolve as many as we can before Monday. So thank you so much, and see you, and looking forward to your project submissions. Bye-bye.